Hunting is not easy. It never has been. It takes dedication, motivation, a lot of patience, and quality gear. If you manage a food plot, put up stands, or need just one more game camera, we can help at MidwayUSA.com. We opened our doors in 1977 and continue to put customers first by offering super fast, same-day shipping. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com. For almost 50 years, Midway USA has been America's go-to source for just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. Go to MidwayUSA.com to see our latest deals and promotions and take advantage of our super fast same-day shipping. If you need a cooler, a new fishing rod, another rifle, ammo, or a reloading press, you can find it all at MidwayUSA.com. Thanks for your business.
Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast, The Hunter's Brief, your weekly digest of what's happening in the world of hunting, wildlife, and conservation. I'm your host Michael, and this episode is the week of August 22nd to the 29th. Whether you're a seasoned hunter, just getting into the outdoors, a conservationist, or simply someone who loves hearing about nature, we've got you covered. This week's roundup includes a college quarterback who turned his name, image, likeness earnings into hunting land, new tools for reporting wildlife crimes in Texas, poaching busts from Maine to Florida, federal rule changes and state legislation affecting hunters, wildlife management stories from wolves to rhino horns, and even a debate over whether to destroy or sell Africa's rhino horn stockpiles. There's also some good news from the Central African Republic, where lion cubs have been captured on camera for the first time in decades. Let's dive in. NIL athlete buys hunting land with NIL money. Texas Tech quarterback Bayron Morton made headlines by using some of his NIL earnings to purchase 150 acres near Cross Plains, Texas. Morton told The Athletic that the property has 2 really good fishing tanks and an abundant deer, pig, and waterfowl. He plans to lease the land to hunters and friends when he's not using it himself, turning his NIL windfall into a long-term investment. On social media, some applauded Morton's entrepreneurial streak and love of the outdoors, while others questioned whether a college athlete should be buying hunting land. Morton notes that the property is only 30 minutes from his parents' home and offers a place for family gatherings as well as hunting. The move illustrates how athletes are using NIL revenues in creative ways and could inspire more hunters to invest in conservation-minded land ownership. It also raises questions about access. Will leases like this broaden opportunities or concentrate prime hunting land in fewer hands? Either way, Morton might be the only quarterback in the Big 12 who's also a budding land manager. Talk about calling audibles. Fisherman catfishing tale, fact or fiction? A tongue-in-cheek story that went viral this week claimed that an Oregon fisherman created fake profiles on dating apps to catfish other anglers, learn their secret fishing spots, and then beat them to the fish. While this BroBible article spread quickly on social media, our research found no corroborating reports from law enforcement agencies or reputable news outlets. The piece reads more like a satire than a bona fide crime story, and many commentators treated it as such. It does, however, highlight a real ethical issue over sharing exact locations for hot fishing or hunting spots, and how it can lead to overcrowding and resource pressure. Hunters and anglers should be mindful about how and with whom they share the location data. And if someone you match with online insists on talking GPS coordinates before asking your name, maybe swipe left. You never know who's fishing for what.
Join us at a Friends of NRA event where freedom, fun, and firearms come together like nowhere else. With more than 600 events held across the country, there's always one happening near you. From exciting games to exclusive auctions featuring one-of-a-kind firearms and gear you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're a lifelong hunter, a competitive shooter, or simply passionate about defending freedom, there is a seat for you. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you and get ready for a night you won't forget.
At Midway USA, we put customers first. The Nitro Express shipping system is icing on the cake. It was a big investment of time and money to take super fast, low-cost shipping to a whole new level. The Nitro Express helps ensure same-day shipping and low shipping costs. We hope you enjoy the Nitro Express. We built it just for you. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com. I'm Larry Potterfield with Midway USA. Thanks for your business.
5 poachers charged in Maine night hunting sting. The Maine Warden Service charged 5 poachers with 31 summonses after investigating into nighttime deer poaching in Washington County. The suspects were accused of shooting deer over bait at night, illegal possession for deer, theft of hunting equipment, and dumping carcasses in a stream. Wardens seized 4 deer and several weapons, including night vision scopes, and are pursuing additional charges. Poaching robs legal hunters of opportunity and undermines conservation funding. The case is a reminder that game wardens rely on tips from the public and routine patrols to deter illegal activity. Those tempted to spotlight deer after dark should remember that Maine wardens have night vision too, and they play for keeps. Florida poaching ring busted with 20 deer illegally taken. In Calhoun County, Florida, wildlife officers arrested 2 men for operating a widespread poaching scheme. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the suspects illegally harvested around 20 deer out of season using night scopes and vehicles to shine deer. Officers found numerous deer mounts and illegally taken wildlife in multiple counties. The FWC expects additional charges as investigation continues. Illegally spotlighting and market-style poaching not only harm local deer populations but also erode trust in the hunting community. Ethical hunters should speak out against those who break the law because nothing spoils a deer camp faster than a siren and handcuffs. As one FDWC officer noted, poachers are thieves. They're stealing from everyone. Texas launches Tip 411, an app to report wildlife crimes. Texas Wildlife Department Operation Game Thief program unveiled Tip 411, a mobile app, text line, and web form that allows the public to report fishing, wildlife, and boating violations anonymously. Texans can now send tips 24 hours a day. The Colonel Ron Vanderroos said, "The system makes it easier for people to speak up and make a difference while staying completely anonymous." Operation Game Thief has already secured over 600 convictions since its launch in 1981 and offers rewards of up to $1,000 for tips leading to convictions. The public reports play a crucial role in catching violators who might otherwise go undetected. This tool empowers everyday hunters and boaters to help protect Texas wildlife and maybe earn some gas money in the process. Remember, you spot it, they stop it. More hunting access at national wildlife refuges. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service finalized a rule on August 27th expanding hunting and sport fishing opportunities on 16 national wildlife refuges and 1 national fish hatchery across 18 states. The rule opens more than 87,000 acres and creates 42 new opportunities for big game, upland, waterfowl, and sport fishing seasons. The service says the expansion supports the agency's mission of providing outdoor recreation and aligns with a deregulatory order requiring 2 regulations to be removed for every new one. Interior officials noted that hunting and angling are economic drivers that contribute to conservation funding through license sales and excise tax. Critics, however, worry about increased pressure on wildlife in sensitive habitats and the cumulative impact of more hunting on refuges. Hunters should familiarize themselves with the specific regulations at each unit. And remember that with expanded opportunity comes responsibility to hunt ethically and sustainably. Opening day just got a little more crowded, but at least the welcome mat is bigger. Colorado halts search for depredating wolf. Colorado Parks and Wildlife, or CPW, and the USDA Wildlife Service attempted to lethally remove an uncollared wolf responsible for 6 depredation events, including sheep and lambs in Rio Blanco County. After 6 days of aerial and ground search, officials suspended the removal due to rough terrain and resumed normal monitoring. The agency continues to track wolves and respond to future livestock conflicts. Wolves were reintroduced into Colorado last winter, and the state law requires livestock owners to be compensated for losses, but makes lethal removal a last resort. Ranchers argue that chronic depredation justifies lethal control, while wildlife advocates emphasize non-lethal deterrence and the ecological role of wolves. This case underscores the delicate balance between predator recovery and livestock protection. It's a reminder that when the big bad wolf appears in your backyard, you may need more than fairy tale solutions. Washington State protects 77,000 acres of old forests. Washington Public Lands Commissioner Dave Upthegrove announced a plan to set aside 77,000 acres of structurally complex older forests for conservation while allowing about 29,000 acres to be logged. The decision aims to balance timber revenue for counties with conservation goals and could include selling carbon credits to offset logging income. Timber industry representatives argue that the plan goes too far and threatens jobs, while conservation advocates say it doesn't really protect enough old-growth forests and fails to address climate change adequately, whatever that means. The Department of Natural Resource manages nearly 6 million acres of trust lands and had already set aside 1.2 million acres for conservation. This partial victory shows how forest management decisions rarely please everyone. If nothing else, the debate proves that both trees and tempers are getting old.
Bow hunting all comes down to a moment. And in the moment, you want equipment on your bow that will get the job done. Trophy Ridge products are the tools bow hunters trust. React technology sights, rests, stabilizers, and quivers to help a bow hunter be successful in the field. And those tools are from Trophy Ridge.
Midway USA brand product designers have one straightforward goal: develop high-quality, technically sound products and deliver them to customers at reasonable prices. If you are immersed in the shooting sports industry and pay close attention to every single detail, you know our products are built right and stand up to everyday use. Who has shooting mats and range bag systems to hunting clothing and just about everything for the outdoors? Log on and shop 24/7 with super fast shipping. MidwayUSA.com.
Controversy over euthanizing 20 Kentucky fawns. The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources drew criticism after staff euthanized more than 20 fawns at an unpermitted facility in Meade County on August 26th. The agency said the animals were illegally held at a CWD surveillance zone and that the action was taken to prevent spread of CWD. The wildlife rehabilitators, however, questioned the necessity of killing seemingly healthy animals and argued that the better communication and less drastic options should have been explored. Jerry Mraz, chair of the Nolan River Wildlife, asked how destroying 22 fawns helped stop CDW and described the incident as a failure of communication. The previous operator had illegally accepted the deer after the county was added to the CWD surveillance zone. The controversy underscores the difficult wildlife agencies face in enforcing disease regulations while maintaining public trust. Killing baby deer rarely earns you fans, even when the disease you're fighting is lethal. Debate over Africa's rhino horn stockpiles. A major storm from Down to Earth examines the arrest of former rhino breeder John Hume and 5 associates for allegedly trafficking nearly 1,000 rhino horns and reigniting debate about what to do with Africa's 70,000 kilogram stockpile of rhino horns. Conservationists are split between those who want to destroy the horns to reduce their value and deter poaching, and those who advocate selling them legally to fund conservation and habitat expansion. Anti-trade advocates argue that stockpiles create demand and encourage corruption, while pro-trade groups say regulated sales could finance anti-poaching efforts and make dehorned rhinos more valuable alive than dead. Ecologist Jason Gilchrist notes that dehorning combined with demand reduction campaigns has drastically reduced poaching risk, cutting animal poaching risk from roughly 13% to 0.6% for dehorned rhinos. Critics warn the proceeds from sales often disappear into government coffers rather than conservation. The debate highlights the complexity of financing conservation in cash-strapped counties. Whether horns are burned or sold, the fate of rhinos hinges on integrity and shared responsibility. Lions make a comeback in Central African Republic. The Wildlife Conservation Society, or WCS, announced the camera traps in Bimingui Bangoran National Park captured the first photos and videos of a lioness and her 3 cubs in decades. And for years, monitoring had revealed only male lions, leading biologists to fear that the breeding females were gone. The cubs' appearance is a sign that intensive protection and anti-poaching efforts in the northeastern Central African Republic are paying off. WCF teams strategically place infrared cameras near rocky outcrops and water sources to capture the footage. The new litter proves that the tiny population, estimated at only a few dozen lions, has started to breed again. Conservationists caution that the next 6 months will be critical due to disease, predation, and snaring. But the discovery offers hope that lions can recover when habitat remains intact and protections are enforced. If successful, the descendants of these cubs could one day repopulate a landscape where lions once roared freely. For now, these feline pioneers are the pride of the Central African Republic. That's it for this week's Hunter's Brief. As always, our goal is to keep you informed and engaged and entertained with the latest stories from the field. Remember to support ethical hunting practices, stay up to date on regulations, and participate in conservation efforts whenever you can. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share with one of your friends. We also release a storytelling episode every Monday that dives deeper into one of the week's themes, so be sure to tune in for that. Feel free to send us feedback or any story suggestions for future episodes. And until next time, take care, respect the land, its wildlife, and happy hunting.
Hey guys, this is Melissa Bachman. Are you ready to stop spooking deer before it's even time to hunt them? Then you need the new Flex S Dark cellular trail camera from SpyPoint. With a no-glow flash option, long-lasting solar power, and a ton of settings that can be changed anytime through the SpyPoint app, there are no more excuses for letting your deer get wise before the season even starts. So check it out for yourself and see why the SpyPoint Flex S Dark is the unstoppable and undetectable scouting tool you need for your next hunt.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Becoming the most valuable sports franchise in the world doesn't happen without risk. A man who's willing to bet it all, and the players ready to make their own luck. America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, is the story of the 1990s Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones's impact on NFL history. Featuring interviews with iconic 90s players and more. Watch America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, streaming now only on Netflix.